second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Julianne, did you get our live feed going?
It's currently buffering. It's almost there.
Okay, do we need to hold off for just a minute?
Yeah, just a second.
Sorry about that, Hannah, I forgot.
Sorry. Mine's lit live.
She always starts. She's ready to go. Okay, guys, we're good to go now.
All right. Is there a motion for the checklist and statement from May? Or any questions?
I move we approve May's checklist.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Your grant
Real quickly, Pam was calling in on the phone. So Doug, did you, motion made to approve the minutes?
It was Keith.
Keith, sorry.
Keith motion, Doug seconded for the minutes. For the financial statements, Keith motioned, Michelle second.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
You want to tell us about the grant application?
Sure. Can we just really quickly go back to the financial statements? I know you guys approved it. Did you guys read the notes in that we're going to be over in our line item for cleaning? We're about $828 over. That was due to we hadn't budgeted to get the tile cleaned professionally. And granted, that's something that we did this year. That was about $1,200. And we also spent more on our carpet cleaning services as we had the bathrooms professionally cleaned. So we are not over in that larger category item. So I don't think that we have to do an amendment to the whole overall budget. Hold on just a second. Hey, Pam. Okay. Okay, let me just put you on speaker, okay? Yep, I will. Okay, can you hear Pam? Pam's really trying. Yep.
Okay.
Can you guys, so Pam's gonna join us by phone call. So hopefully if she can, we'll try to include her in this as much as possible. She's trying.
Being able to get in, I can't see anything or either of them talk to you.
Okay, so they've approved the minutes and we're talking, they've approved the financial items. I just wanted to review that we are over on our cleaning budget. And we are over in our databases and ebooks category as well. But we've already discussed that in previous board meetings that we were going to shift money to those purposes. Does anybody have any questions about those items? Okay. I did file for a grant through KDLA. They received some extra funding to help out libraries with PPE and protective guards, and the library qualified for $1,200. So I haven't heard if we got accepted. I think they're accepting everybody. Is that correct, Chris?
Yeah, that's my understanding. I think if there was an issue, it would have been figured out. And, like if there was something that needed to be corrected, I think you would have been able to correct it and fix it unless there was something awfully crazy. I think you're going to get your money. So
that helps out a lot. We've spent quite a bit on getting masks and sanitizer and cleaning equipment. So that's going to be helpful. So I'm still working with Kelly Gamble, our new accountant, to get all the information gathered for payroll and the new accounting system. We're almost there. Hannah this last week signed a letter for Bedford Bank. They needed the board or someone on the board to approve adding Kelly to have view access only to our online banking account. we weren't able to add them. They have another type of system where you can access statements. It's called the CSI Safe portal, but only one person could have an account with that. So the only way to get him to actually see our statements was to add him to the online banking. So she went ahead and did that. I just want to make you guys aware of that. And Kelly has already been approved as our new accountant, Chris. So
Good. I like him.
our budget, I'm still working on getting it uploaded to the DLG website and to our own website. The DLG website has been down for a while, and that's a question I was going to ask at our next meeting, Chris, was how that's going to happen. So what's the procedure for that?
I don't know. Let's talk about that tomorrow with our director.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Didn't they send something?
Not for the budget yet. No, we haven't received
Oh,
our invoice for our registration either yet. So I needed to contact them again and see what's going on. All right.
just keep a record that you're trying to do it, and that's all there is.
Okay.
Keep going. You're doing good.
Chris, do you want to go over the newsletter for the month, or do you want me to just highlight that?
Probably the one thing I will say is that they started the process for hiring a new director for the western part of a new regional consultant for the western part of the state. And about the time he was getting ready to be hired, COVID hit, and it just threw everything in an absolute turmoil, as it has with everything else for everybody else. So it really slowed that process down. And I was serving as a foster regional for the 20 counties in the farthest western part of the state. So that got finalized about a week and a half ago. So we have a new Region West consultant, which is good. So now I'm just back to focusing on our group, which is everybody the 30 counties north of I-64. And I'm still consulting on construction questions statewide. So that's part of why I'm here. I'm starting to just be able to, check in and see how you all are doing. I think the rest of we have a new CE consultant. She is converting all of the trustee orientation thing are available now through YouTube. So before on those 5 trustee orientation webinars, you had to go through Adobe Connect and use I guess an IBM type computer, and Apple somehow couldn't get on there. She's not a librarian. She's a specialist in continuing education and training and stuff. And she's better at the technology, I guess, than the rest of us at the state library. So she's able to convert that to YouTube. So you saw her listed in there, but we're really stoked about that. And we have our children's librarian. Side note, when everything started to break loose in the middle of March, we lost about half of our staff were temporarily reassigned to unemployment insurance. And we've slowly been getting people back online from that assignment, which nobody's complaining about it. It was a hard job for them because, of course, people are desperate for their money, and I understand they took some abuse that they really couldn't help. But anyway, we're getting all of our people back to us. So our new children's librarian that you probably saw announced 3 months ago is also back with us. The rest of the report, I think, can speak for itself unless there's something you want to address.
No, just that they had mentioned E-rate funding, that Kentucky had like a record year so far in commitment for E-rate funding, over $1 million for libraries. And we just got our funding commitment letter today for our firewall for that helps us with our Milton branch. It's for almost $7,000. So that was good news.
By the way, I probably haven't talked to your board in a while, but I got to visit the Milton branch early in the year, and it is really nice. That's a really cool thing. I got to actually see the woman that was down there taking a class online. So that was really nice to actually get to see it being used and how helpful it was to people. I talked to a woman at the, what is that? The city hall, I guess. I don't know, whatever that building is. I talked to a woman there and she was saying how much people appreciated it.
Yeah, our numbers aren't real huge, but the few that we do serve, they just seem very appreciative of it.
Mhm.
I know that it's been a help to the city where they're having to train individuals. And so it's been worth the effort and that we.
Good.
So, all right. So I guess I'm okay with meeting for next month through technology. I think a hybrid situation where we're meeting inside the building and adding technology might add difficulty. Doug, are you still comfortable with meeting through Zoom meetings?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Okay, Pam, are you still comfortable with the Zoom meetings?
I'm fine with it if I can figure out what my problem is on this end.
Well, and Pam, if any of you guys are having trouble with your internet or technology, please contact me. We'll put you in a separate area of the library and we'll set you up on a laptop.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. I don't know. I haven't had any problem up until tonight, and it just would not come through for me. So.
Yeah, I know that there's been some updates with Zoom, so that's kind of that might be the problem with your device tonight. So I appreciate you.
I
Appreciate.
should have come in a lot earlier.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. We totally get it. Let's see. So I just want to get you up to speed on where we are at the library. June 8th, the governor announced that we could, well, I guess it was before that, but June 8th was our approval date to open. We got our state guidelines June 4th. So we've looked through those, make sure that we're covering everything that we need to open safely. We just got our protected guards this Wednesday. That was the last piece that we were waiting for. And so we are going to open June 22nd, which is good because that's what the paper announced. I told them that there was a tentative date and they said, they're opening June 22nd. And I'm like, okay, I hope those guards come in. So we're excited to open. We did have one staff member who resigned. She just had a lot of concerns about being able to work with the public and come in as many hours as she needed to. But staff has been busy. We've been updating websites to add community resources, voting information, legal help, food banks, unemployment information. Every staff member is involved some way in help with planning and carrying out summer reading programs. And so that kicked off June 8th. And we've seen a lot more traffic and phone calls to the library. So that's helping. Does anybody have any questions about where we are as far as opening or? So our hours are we're going to be open for in-person services Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then Tuesday, Thursdays, we're going to do curbside delivery. And if, we have somebody who is really just needing help on the computer, we'll let them in the building and work with them individually. We're only going to have two staff members in the building on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we'll have 4 to 5 people and to help serve the community. Hours are 12 to 6 and staff will report to work at 10 to come in to handle the book drop, quarantine items, clean and things like that. So we have been, I sent you guys the library reopening plans. This was based on the state, on KPLA's plan that they gave or submitted to the state for libraries across the state to open. And I took that plan and just kind of made it a little bit more specific to our library. Currently we would be opening in phase 3 of this plan. Like I said, limited operating hours. Chris has counseled us to open, and the guidelines counsel us to open at 50% of staff in the building and 33% capacity. I have yet to find out what our capacity is. So we are doing the 5 people per 1,000 square feet, which puts us as about 30 to 35 people in the building. So that's about where we are with this plan. Chris, do we need to approve this plan? I thought maybe we should, just to have it as a guideline to follow. I don't know if you got my documents in the email.
I don't think I've seen them, but I think it's probably not a bad idea for the board to approve the plan. It seems like a good idea. As far as the building capacity, that's, I think the only thing I can figure is that's like the building, the fire marshal number that you see on signs in some spaces. And, it seems like that 5 people per 1,000 square feet is not a bad starting point. You might want to try and keep it a little smaller than that, because apparently for like your main library space, if you just took the raw square footage of your, the adult and children's libraries or whatever, apparently they're taking out furniture or shelving or something. It's a little bit smaller for people that have carefully done the math both ways or done the math using the 5 per 1,000 formula and then compared it to a third of their, original fire marshal rating. But I think you're in good shape to go with that. I'd probably call it 30 rather than 32 or 33, just to kind of lowball it a little bit, since that's about how it's been tracking for, I'm trying to remember, Lisa in Bowling Green compared the math the 2 different ways, and it was slightly less, and somebody else had the similar kind of result.
And honestly, the only time we really have over 30 people in the building at the same time is when we have a program, and that's just not gonna be possible for the next couple months.
Yeah, I don't think if you don't think you need to sweat it, I don't think you should. If suddenly you're being overwhelmed and starting to have something like 30 people, at that point you might need to figure out some kind of clicker method of keeping track who's going in and out. But yeah, it seems unlikely that you would hit that number, and there's no point in sweating it until you feel like you're getting there.
Yeah, I don't think that we're gonna have a problem. I think there's lots of people that are library users that are still pretty cautious about coming in, and I think it's
most places, even a lot more urban places, don't seem to be having a problem of even hitting that number. So it just seems unlikely.
Yeah. So does anybody have any concerns or questions about the reopening plan?
It seems like it's a lot more than 6 feet apart from each other, if that's one of the criteria that they're saying. But 5 people in 1,000 square feet, that's a lot of space.
I suspect that's because it's indoors.
Okay.
That's such a tip over point on, it seems like everything talks about if you can do things outdoors, it's just better where you're not enclosed. So but I don't know. Yeah, what you're saying is absolutely true. I just wonder if that might be the reason.
Yeah. Well, we could move it out where Dina's sitting tonight, out in the parking lot.
We could do that. We're definitely going to keep a close eye on how many people are coming in the building. And like Chris said, if it seems like people are coming in and there's too many people, we'll make accommodations, and we'll have to close down and count people who are coming in. So
I think it's a very good plan, Dina.
I added all of our cleaning procedures, all of our quarantine procedures, all of those things in there, so that we had a kind of a structured document that if somebody questions why, this is why we're doing this, and this is where we got the information. And
it's intended to be a guideline, you know, that is created now for now, and then as new information comes, we've just got to be flexible. You know, there's so much being learned about this. So it's not intended to be a static document like, okay, this is what we're doing for the next 6 months or a year. It's just how we're trying to get started right now.
Yeah, it sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Your motion to accept the library reopening plan.
I'll make the motion that we accept it.
Do you accept it?
Okay, Pam seconded it. I don't know if you could hear her.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Pam said aye.
Who made the motion, please, Dina?
Michelle made the motion,
Okay.
and Pam, you seconded it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay, not much to report on building maintenance, thankfully. I do need to get in contact with the electrician to get the finish up on the LED lights for the parking lot. They weren't able to, replacing the bulbs didn't fix some of the lights. So I need to get them back with a better lift. We also, I don't remember if I reported this, but last month we had one of the water heaters replaced. It went out on the staff side of the building. So there was nothing they could do to repair it. It was rusted through and busted and leaking. So they just had to take it out. I think the repair was about $800 on that. Our collection, not much is changing on that. Staff is putting out displays regarding civil rights and African-American history. We're hoping that KLA will put it together a statement on behalf of libraries in response to the protests and rioting situations. We have not been very proactive in putting out information, as we just felt like not a lot was happening in our community about that. Not that it's not an important situation, but we felt like it might be shallow or insensitive when we're not experiencing it ourselves in our own community. So we're waiting for direction on that. I just want you guys, we're not ignoring it. So we also put in another large ebook order this last week. Hopefully that is relieving some of the holds and loosening that up for people to access ebooks through Overdrive. And we're also looking into other options than Overdrive. It's turned into one big expensive service these last 2 months for our library. And it doesn't seem like it has increased the money that we have put into it to purchase books. It doesn't seem like it has increased a lot of access to books that our community is asking for. So Hannah and Michelle, I know you guys are ebook readers. Have you noticed any difference with purchases and stuff that we've made?
I haven't had time to read for a few weeks.
Sorry,
Oh, no.
on the spot.
I'm with you.
Uh,
What have you ever tried? Of course, Hoopla, I guess, is just audio. Do you all do Hoopla?
we do. We've actually tripled our checkouts on Hoopla. We're doing really well on that. Trying to keep it in.
But it's expensive because it's per use, right?
It is. We had about 210 checkouts last time, and we paid roughly $350.
Oh,
So not too bad. Not too bad. We had, I think, about 300 uses or checkouts on Overdrive this last month, and we pay $3,000 a year for that service. So
$1 a use.
$250 a month.
yeah, and that's just the basic service. That's not counting any other purchases that we've made, and we've put almost $4,000 in purchases the last 2 months.
Mm.
Just on holds for our community. So that service is really expensive. So the problem is Hoopla doesn't have the newer titles, some of the newer books. So,
That's why I like Hoopla, I guess. It's deeper, but I'm not reading bestsellers as much as looking for particular things. So
yeah. So our phone system it's we're still communicating with AT&T on that. It looks like July 9th, they will be in the building to start installation. That's going to take a couple of weeks, and we've got training scheduled, and hoping to have 3 or 4 staff members scheduled or trained on that, just so that we do not get into the same situation a couple weeks ago with nobody knowing how to run this and the old phone system. It was a bit of a mess. So we've also had some trouble with our servers this last couple weeks. We currently have 3 servers. We replaced one server in 2016 when I got here, so it's about 4 years old. It was hosting our TLC, our catalog at the time. That server is doing great. We have another server that's 10 years old. We are planning to replace it this next year. It was in the budget. So currently we have about $8,000 in our capital equipment line item budget for the rest of the year. And I would like to go ahead and get a motion made to go ahead and get that changed out. It's 10 years old. It is hosting our staff and public information. If that goes down, we're in trouble. We don't have a backup. So I got a quote from Dell, and LibSynergy helped us out with that. It needs to be a pretty robust server. All of the requirements are in your board minute, the notes that I sent to you guys. A lot of it is Greek to me. Lots of things that I don't understand. This is what LibSynergy has suggested for us that would have the proper speed and the proper memory to host the public and staff software program that we use. The quote comes with a 5-year basic warranty, next day business day, or 5-year basic next business day support warranty. The cost of the server would be $5,070.58. So I highly recommend going ahead and getting that. It's going to take 4 to 6 weeks for Dell to build that and to get it, LibSynergy to get it installed.
I make a motion that we go ahead with that work.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Pam said aye. Did you get that, Pam? So Doug? Okay. And then Keith? Yep. All right, so a couple of weeks ago, we got a message, or we found out that one of our hard drives on the other server that we have, the server is 6 years old and it hosts our filter software. We went ahead and ordered a rebuilt hard drive for $115, and Julianne helped LibSynergy get it installed and get that server back up and going. We wanted to do that because we didn't want to open and then we couldn't be using our computers because of the filtering software. It couldn't be ran on our, we wanted to make sure that we were up and going. So we put a little bit of money in that to keep it going. But there's no warranty or guarantee that the server will continue to keep going. So because we were getting quotes from Dell for this other server, I said, let's just go ahead and see what this would cost us to replace this server at this time, since it takes so much time to get it in and LibSynergy's time to come install it. So we had a quote for the server is, the server does not need to have as much memory or speed, and so it's not as expensive. The server would be $3,108.97 with the same warranty for that. We have money. It would send us over the edge in our line item budget for the year for technology or capital equipment. But in our capital expenditures line, we have over $370,000. So to me, it just makes sense. While we've got Dell working on it and LibSynergy working on it, let's spend the extra $3,000 to get the extra server. The one that we just put a refurbished hard drive in, we'll set it aside and keep it as a backup if something goes down. So, but
We didn't have any technology purchases planned this year, correct? All the computers are up to date and
We, for next year, I think we budgeted maybe 10 grand for next year. Because we weren't planning on purchasing any computers or anything like that. We did have the server on that budget line item, the 10-year-old one.
I make a motion to approve the quote for the filtering server.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Get that, Pam?
Yes.
Okay.
Hannah and Michelle, correct?
Yes, Hannah made the motion, Michelle seconded, and all were in favor. Okay. So summer reading, we've already kind of gone over that. It's going well. If you guys have time, I know you're really busy. If you can check out our programs online, that would be great. You're free to if you're reading, go ahead and fill out a reading log. We can't give you a prize or anything, but that at least counts for our numbers, and pass the information along to your family and friends that they can participate online this year. Staff are doing well. As I said, we had one employee quit, so we'll be reevaluating whether we bring on another staff member in August. Hunter, Kalani, Lauren, and Savannah are taking classes, so we have four people in college taking college classes right now, and Julianne is scheduled to take one in the fall. So Jackie just finished one up in this last spring, so everybody's been really busy and doing a great job. I'm proud of them. For our circulation, like I said, Hoopla, as you can see, December we had 65 circulations, and by May we have 208 circulations. So we've more than tripled our numbers on Hoopla. So that's a service that's being used. For our wireless sessions for our main branch, for May, we're just over 500 people coming in to use or using the wireless service just in the parking lot. So that's pretty good numbers. We are down for the year total, but we haven't been open for almost 3 months. So we're still pleased with those numbers, even though they have dropped. The Milton and branch, that first line on your graph on your notes is the wireless sessions, and that is up from last month. It's over 100 uses for wireless sessions, and computer sessions is probably about 30 to 35 uses on computer sessions. So that's decent for just two little computers in the community. Like I said earlier, overdrive checkouts are holding steady this month, around probably about 350 to 375 checkouts usage. And then our circulation, our circulation is down since people aren't coming into the building. It's going to be down for the year, probably by about 5,000-6,000 checkouts at least. So, but that is all I have for you guys. Do you guys have anything to add or questions?
I think you did a great job on that opening policy. It's several pages long if Chris didn't get to see it, but it looks like you drew from some other sites and put a lot of thought into it.
I appreciate that. We have been very, and Chris has been great too. KDLA has been meeting every other week. At the beginning we were meeting weekly, just because this has thrown all directors across the state in just kind of a tailspin. Nobody's really dealt with this kind of a situation before. And so directors have really pulled together, especially in the northern region. I don't know what the other regions are doing, but Chris has been a great leader in just keeping us all on the same page and answering questions and providing information that we need. So I appreciate him as our regional director. He's been really great to help out.
Thank you.
So, and our staff have been following a lot of those guidelines already. So we're all comfortable in really it's just letting people back in the building and continuing to do what we already know what to do. So
Your person that decided to resign, that was because they were uncomfortable working with the public or having the public in?
She was uncomfortable working with the public, and we talked with her about doing other work, and she's just like, I think she was an older person, was here because it was fun, and it just, I think it turned into a more stressful situation.
That makes sense.
So
Thank you for all you do. Looking forward to having the doors open again.
we all are, we're excited. So I appreciate all of our board members. You're such a great support to us and our library and our community, and it's just wonderful to have you guys on board. I appreciate all your service and time that you put into to being a board member. So
Dina,
yes.
I did leave those older minutes in your Dropbox.
Yes, I had sent Pam our copies of our older minutes that we hadn't been able to get signed, so she's just gonna put them back in the book drop in a folder for me after she gets them signed. So that's what she's referring to.
Yes, they're in the drop now,
Okay.
and I had already dated them the day that I received them. So
Okay, that sounds good. I appreciate it, Pam.
okay, thank you.
All right. Is there anything else before we sign off? All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 6:14.
I'll second.
Keith,
And with that,
let's give it to Keith.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
I was in favor.
Thank you all.
Thank you,
Bye,
guys.
everybody. Call if you need anything.
Thanks, Chris, for coming.
thank
Have a good evening.
Y'all too.
You too.